Cost of the housing and following that the cost of building a condo have been a hot topic in the past few months. You may have ever asked yourself why the cost of housing keeps going up. Well, today we are diving into the real reason behind the rising housing prices and what's really limiting developers from lowering these costs in 5 quick, simple, easy steps. And buckle up because the numbers might surprise you. Step number 1, cost breakdown and developer challenges. So let's talk about what's driving up the cost of housing here in Toronto. A recent study broke it down, and trust me, the numbers tell a very interesting story. We're looking at multiple factors, starting with government charges, and after that I'm going to tell you about the hard costs. So let's start with government charges. Did you know that the government charges make up between 22 to 27% of the total development cost? That's a big chunk of the pie. This includes fees, development charges, and other taxes that developers have to pay even before a single brick is laid down. Step number 2, rising construction costs. It doesn't stop here. We've also got construction costs that have been rising like crazy. Look at this graph, for example. Since 2017, construction costs have nearly doubled. We are talking about the high-rise apartment construction cost index reaching a whopping 180 points from a baseline of 100 back in 2017. This includes the cost of labor, materials, and everything it takes to get that building standing. And now add to that the hard construction cost, which makes up about 35 to 45% roughly, and you quickly realize why developers have such a hard time bringing prices down. Step number 3, limited profit margins and market challenges. And here's the thing, developers' profit are not as much as you think it is. So you might think developers are making a fortune, but the truth is their profit margin sits between 9 to 12%. When you consider all the costs involved, land value, soft costs like architectural fees and government fees, you realize that the room for profit is much smaller than what people might think. This isn't to say developers aren't making any money, but it does put into perspective why they can't just magically lower the prices. Step number 4, the land value dilemma. Another big part of the picture is land value, making up about 20 to 25% of the cost of a condo project. Land in a city like Toronto is extremely expensive, and with competition to buy land skyrocketing, these costs only keep going up. Step number 5, so what can be done about all this? According to experts, we need a massive increase in building, and the government alone can't bear this burden. So we need private developers, REITs, and big investors to jump in if we are going to have any chance of closing this housing gap. But here's the kicker. Vacancy rates are so low that even when new supply is added, it's not going to be enough to significantly drop rents or home prices. The model that I told you about in my last video shows that we need annual completions to reach about 11% of the existing housing stock in a given area to meet the demand. Right now in Toronto, that number is just 1.1%. So if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and drop your thoughts in the comments down below. What you think about what we need to do to solve the housing crisis? I would like to hear your ideas. See you next time.